I always use the best gear for the best job that we can possibly deliver because the stakes are high.
Sure.
When you show up, I don't want to go back. I don't want to redo it. Time is money, so you want to be sure that you got the best. You can deliver the best product, and so you use the best gear you can afford and make it happen.
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. Hey, Ken, you ready?
Huh? Okay. Oh, sorry. Where do I look?
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. Jonah and I on a media episode today are talking to one of my really good friends and one of my favorite people. And I would say in the real estate business, but also in the media business, we have Mr. Ken Schallenberg.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
thanks for the invite.
Really excited. So, a lot of people know Ken online as a photographer taking pictures, and you post beautiful pictures of people. I think it'd be interesting for people to know a little bit more about you and who you are and where you came from. Because, like we just kind of talked about, you've been doing pictures for a really long time, but that's not where the industry you were in whenever you first got started. So let's talk about Ken Schallenberg 30, 40 years ago and what you were doing then.
Well, my story starts in a log cabin, back in the woods, because I'm that old. But, I don't consider myself an entrepreneur necessarily like most of the folks around here do. I'm just more of a guy that gets a little bored and reinvents themselves. That's what my friends would say. And so back in the day, I had a great job at the U.S. Post Office when I was a postal clerk. And then I just got totally bored with it and woke up one day and said, I'm going to go do something else. And I looked into it and then got into LSU Dental School. And I graduated from LSU Dental School in the laboratory technology program. So many years ago, I don't want to mention it, but
You're what, 50 years old? 55?
Pretty much 55.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that, and then that was, it's all part of the creative thing. I've been taking photos since I was a teenager, literally. So I don't care if I was trying to get into a bar in the French Quarter. I had when I was young, I had a camera with me, or if I was in coquetry fishing, I always had a camera with me, taking pictures of the fish or the stumps or something like that. It was always intriguing, black and whites. And I found some pictures the other day from the 80s, black and white. And I'm going, damn, that was really good. And so I go back to the film days. I've processed my own film, in a dark room. It wasn't necessarily, it was cool at the time. I wouldn't want to do it now, personally. And then, and so dental school, and we did that for a while. And then I used photos that did thousands and thousands upon thousands of macro photos of people's faces and teeth and things of that nature, and duplicated those. And we were talking earlier about the different techniques now and how things have changed with the digital age. And back in the day, like in my dental business, I would meet a patient, and then I'd take the film and take a picture of the front tooth, and then bring the film over the lakeside camera, and a week later pick it up, and then blow it up on the wall in my projector, and then and then process the tooth, look at the tooth, try to copy it. God does the first one. I come behind God. It's really hard sometimes. And then but nowadays, you can use your iPhone, the techniques, the technology, and it's instantly emailed or text to my office if I was doing it. And then so that's a different thing. So I go back a long way. I became a realtor. I left my dental laboratory business and decided, I just woke up one day and said, I just can't do this anymore. It's just, just got burnt out. Yeah. And I didn't realize it until it really overcame me. I just got so burnt out. And I decided to go do something else, and I became a realtor. And I am a licensed realtor, proudly, Keller Williams. And but my favorite thing to do in the world is take photos of humans or houses or whatever. And then I saw a opportunity early on, and I asked one of my good friends, agent that I was using a professional photography. Google is your friend. How do you do this?
Yeah.
How does the process work? Google is your friend. And I asked him if I would do a house for him next time he had a house. He did it, and 2 days later I was in business because it just worked out great. And so Yeah, so I've been doing that ever since. Everything's word of mouth. I'm not a big
marketer,
braggadocious guy. I just kind of let my work talk for me, and and that's basically what I do.
But so let's go back to the transition of cameras and the system and the techniques over time. I mean, it's incredible how we can go to your office and take a headshot, and then within minutes we have some pictures and some examples of what was done, and then within 24 to 48 hours we've got the full headshots back at our office. So, in the dental business, as you were taking pictures, and now, and being the Jonah's the camera nerd that he is, how has it changed in your career over the last however many years you've been taking pictures?
Well, it just makes it a little bit, nowadays, every camera system, regardless of the brand, as you know, just phenomenal. But there are certain brands you tend to lead to. Like I see all Sony cameras right here. That's just, without question, the number one. Especially if you're a younger age, you're going to go to Sony for the pictures. I shoot Sony, and I just think that it's you need the right tool for the right job, and there's nothing I can rock anything with my Sony cameras, and I mean anything.
I agree.
At any time.
I agree wholeheartedly.
They see in the dark, and stuff like that. So, it goes back from, things we shoot now and take for granted. We're just like, ISO 1600 film was like, wow, I can't believe they're doing it. Now that's, in the digital realm in today's cameras, and literally I've shot every brand of cameras in my business, and I've proven that they all work. It's just the one that makes you feel better. To me, Sonys are more like a tool, the right tool for the job. It's not my most fun camera to shoot. If I was just walking around on vacation, it's not what I want to bring necessarily, but they work great. But they're just about having the right job, knowing how to do it. And I think as a professional, in my dental laboratory business, being a professional meant when something happened bad, how to get out, how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with photography. As a professional photographer, you have all these great plans when you walk on set. All hell breaks out, and then you just got to figure out, how are we going to fix this? What are we going to do? Okay, the lighting's not on. Let's go over here by the window. And there's, all those being creative and be able to adjust on the fly, really pulls things out, whether you're shooting a wedding or whether you're shooting an event or whether you just have to recompose yourself and then just always look professional. Yeah. And things inside are going crazy, but you always look like you got everything under control.
It's the resting chill face. There's the RBF. But then there's the resting chill
Which
face.
I think, look, and in my line of business too, it's a learned skill to be able to be in a situation like that, high pressure. I mean,
correct.
Once the moment's over, from a photographer standpoint, then you don't necessarily get the opportunity to take that moment again,
right?
And you have to be able to be calm and solve the problem. The same thing in a closing for us, right? People are in that room expecting things to go a certain way, and if things are happening outside of that room, you have to almost keep your composure where people don't know that you're feeling panicked on the inside. Step out of the room, solve the problem, come back in.
Correct.
Because when your anxiety level goes up when it comes to those types of things, and everybody else's anxiety level goes up.
Well, I think you talked about the question, things in the past. I mean, young photographers today don't realize when there were no autofocus lenses. Everything was manual. So you're shooting a wedding and you're shooting the bridal kiss.
High stakes too.
And you're, there's one shot, and literally one shot. And you have to make that happen. So, and nowadays I can press a button and shoot 120 frames in a second.
Yeah.
So you're not going to miss anything.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do. But you have that capability.
Sure.
So So it's and I'm blessed. And I try to I've always used, while I was in fly fishing, where I always use the best gear I could find.
Yeah.
And now I'm into cameras. I always use the best gear for the best job that we can possibly deliver, because the stakes are high.
Sure.
When you show up, I don't want to go back. I don't want to redo it. Time is money, so you want to be sure that you got the best. You can deliver the best product, and so you use the best gear you can afford and make it happen.
So if you're a young person and you're trying to get into the photography business, what is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody?
Well, find somebody that can mentor you. Find somebody that you look up to. Find somebody whose style you like, and do it that way. When I was first starting my photography business in the real estate realm of it, I researched, how do you do this? And researched lighting. And I saw this gentleman who became my mentor, Will Crockett, world famous photographer, Hollywood actors and stuff like that, and all over the world, sponsored by 40 different companies and all that. And I said, that's the guy I need to meet.
Yeah.
So he's in Chicago. I didn't want to go to Chicago, so I opened a page one day. I was looking at Lakeside Camera. What kind of classes do they have? Because I'm always trying every day 2 things. I try to learn how to be a better photographer, and I try to make a new friend. That's just who I am.
That sounds like Ken. If I
That's
met
just,
Ken,
I am my mama's kid. You know? And so I ran across Will Crockett, and I sat at the meeting. One day, he's at Lakeside Camera doing the class. Oh, wow. Nobody told me.
Yeah.
So I wake up at 6 o'clock, go to Lakeside Camera. I'm banging on the door at 9 o'clock. And they said, oh, that's sold out. You can't get in there. I said, please. And so I just went and had a coffee. I'm sitting in a parking lot. True story. Sitting in the parking lot. Here comes Will Crockett. Oh, this is number one going behind him. I said, so I waited another half an hour, knocked on the door. I said, can I get it? It's sold out. I said, where's the manager, Dawn? She's in the class. All right, hell with it. I went around there with my coffee, went in the back with the things in the next building, and I walked in. Place was full, and the owners of Lakeside right there. I see the manager looking at me, and I walk in, drinking my coffee. I wait a second. Will's on his computer, and I'm blessed by this opportunity. Will's on his computer with his pink glasses on. He always wore his rose pink glasses. And then I said, hey, is there room for one more in here? And the manager looked at me with the grimace, and then Crockett went like this. There's always room for one more. And he put down his glasses. When he looked up again, I was right in front of me.
Nice.
I mean, 6 inches. Hi, Will,
awesome.
I'm Ken. And then from that moment on, he's been a friend and a mentor, and I learned my lighting techniques from Will Crockett. I would send him a photo, and 20 minutes later, he'd send me a video back, a YouTube or a video, and he would just tear it to pieces. I mean, tear it, like make me cry. Okay, so lesson learned. So I'd send him in, and finally I sent him one. He said, you're now a photographer. I couldn't have done better. And so you go, all right, that's good. So now whenever I'm doing something, he's texting me, how's it going? You know, raise your prices. That looks great. You know, go do this, go do that. And so that's good. And then other mentors around during the 13 years I've been here. But yeah, that was my desk. That was a blessing to me, and I can't thank Will Crockett enough. And you should look him up. He's retired now. Yeah. And but he was instrumental in what I do, and he's the one that taught me lighting. He's the one that got me into the headshot business. You know how to do that, because everybody's got a style. And as a photographer locally, I can look at photos from any person doing real estate or headshot and tell you who did it, just because that's my gear. I mean, that's my thing. All right, I study it. You know, you have to know. I don't call people competition. It also do me. It's just other people that do the same thing. Sure. And are in the same business. Yeah. So I treat it that way, and I don't do stuff the way my competition does it. I just do it what I think is going to be it. I run my business probably different than anyone else does in the real estate element of it, and but that's just who I am and why I do it.
I know you've talked to me several times about Mr. Will and all the things that he taught you, and but I never heard the story about how he's so available and willing to help you.
Yeah, he's well known around the country as people. He would just help photographers at the beginning. In the old days, he'd travel around in big trucks with 2 guys driving the truck as helpers, and he'd go to different back when the photography conventions were popular, WPPI and stuff like that. And he would give clinics for Nikon or Fuji, and he's a master printer, so he would give printing, which he would call me up. He said, it's a great photo, but man up and shoot it in JPEG. That's what Will's thing was. Man up, shoot it in JPEG. If you can't get it in JPEG, start over. Yeah. And so he would do big printing demonstrations where he would take a raw picture and process it and then print it in a 16 by 20 or something, and then have people come around and tell me which one's which, and you just couldn't tell. So, you know, he was the one that proved me. He was the one that got me into Micro Four Thirds cameras when I first started my business, and we did that for years. And I've proven that the Micro Four Thirds and the full frame sensors, they'll both work for what I do, probably for what you do. It's just something that you find that works really well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
I got 2 things. So like we interviewed Nancy Miller, and she does a lot of brand stuff and weddings. But the funny thing is she was also in dental school, which is funny. So I wonder if there's some sort of correlation with
I don't really know.
Going to dental school and
but
photography.
it's all, you know, I look at it, you know, so it's artistic, you know, you just can't.
Aesthetics, right?
Yeah, it's just the aesthetics. And so like when people say, I'm never happy with my teeth. I said, don't worry about it. I can fix the teeth. Yeah. You know, if anything, I got your teeth. Yeah. Yeah. I may mess up the rest, you know, fix the teeth. But, you know, in the headshot business, which is really my favorite thing, I shoot real estate. I shoot events. That's one of my favorite things to do, you know, just because I'm always about meeting the people.
Sure.
So I'm introducing myself. I'm, and everywhere I go, if I'm eating sushi, I'm selling photos. Hey, I could come in here and take the photos of this business. We got something special. We'll shoot that, So, always be closing, ABC. And so everywhere I go, as Joe McNally would say, another famous photographer, he would say, I wake up in the morning, my feet on the floor, saying, how am I going to make a photo into money?
Yeah.
What am I going to do today that's going to, and I do it slightly different, as I say, what can I do today to help my client be more successful, which is going to help me be more successful. And that's kind of my goal.
Yeah. How much value? I mean, we say that all the time. How much value can you add to your clients and to the world? Because ultimately it's going to come back to you.
Correct.
You just got to continue to add value.
And it's one of my Facebook friends, Wayne Capelli. Sorry, I'm a name dropper because these people have affected me in the way I do business. But when I shoot real estate, when I was just getting started in real estate, Wayne would say, if you want to shoot, remember this is 13 years, if you want to shoot $1 million houses on a regular basis, shoot every house like it's $1 million house. Mm-hmm. And you will be noticed and you'll get those opportunities. And that's why if I'm shooting for a magazine, which I've done many, many times, shooting for an architect or a lighting manufacturer, lighting engineer, I'm always shooting it just like I would shoot the mobile home because I just want it to be, I'm always looking for the right angle, for the right light, for the right, we're going to move this.
But your name's on it also.
Correct.
And so you want to make sure that you treat like for the listing videos that we do that are either 200 or 600.
Right.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool. So like you want to make sure it's like excellence. You want to make sure that
correct.
Your name's on it. You want to make sure it's good.
That's correct. Yeah. It's just, you just can't, you don't cut corners. When I approach a real estate, when I shoot for an agent, because I shoot real estate as well, headshots are my favorite thing to do, but I enjoy my real estate clients, working with my clients. When I'm on set or in the house, they are the best real estate agent in the world. Mm-hmm. If the seller's there, I'm just got to be me. If the seller's there, I got no problem. How you doing? Where you moving? Mm-hmm. Where you from? I'm just going to ask all those questions. And then their husband might be a lawyer and own a law firm. And I said, that's great. Don't they need headshots? That sort of thing. And so I really enjoy that aspect. As my friend Sue Derricks, who we all know, I miss her dearly. My friend Sue Derricks would say, shooting with Ken is an experience. Because when I go, even if it's the smallest little house, I'm having a blast. Yeah. And I want the seller says, well, don't mind me, I'll get out of the way. I said, it's your house. Yeah. You're happy to be here. So where you moving to? Oh, I haven't decided. Oh, that's great. And so so that's how we kind of roll.
So let me ask you this. So it'll be
sorry if I'm rambling.
No, you're good. I'm going to poke the bear a little bit. If a real estate agent came up to you and said, "What's the difference in me paying you to do this or me to go take my phone and take videos of this house or pictures of this house?" What would you say the difference is, and why do they need to use you, professional photographer, over using their phone?
Well, I think you use any professional photographer, me or anyone else, is because your competition is using professional photographer. Mm-hmm. So if you look around, the house and trust me, I see it all. And using your phone's great. But the walls aren't going to be level. In the real estate photo business or in the architectural photo business, vertical lines are important. Mm-hmm. Well, most agents are going to use their phone, and they're going to point it down like this, so all the kitchen cabinets lean. The doors open. The drawers open. The kitchen towels hanging in it. The first thing you do is pick that up. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I've shown up at a house and seen underwear laying around. Mm-hmm. It's just part of the shtick, But that's why the realtor's there, because I'm not touching it. I'll let them do it. Yeah. Close the toilet seat. Rule number 1. That kind of thing. Yeah. But I just think the major reason is your competition is using it, and so you want to put your best foot forward. And what I really respect is my clients that if it's a mobile home in Franklinton or it's uptown multi-million-dollar house, they treat it exactly the same, and so do I. Yeah. They're not going to not call a professional photographer because it's a mobile home. Sure. They're still going to call you. So they have their brand, and that's all part of their brand, as you know. You're always trying to put your best foot forward. You don't want to say, well, this is just a mobile home. I'm just going to take my phone. Yeah. That's just not the way you should do it.
Is it similar in the way, like, when you're creating a brand, and I think similar for headshots, which we'll get to in a second, but if you're a real estate agent and you're going to create a brand for yourself and you want to make sure you put quality out there, mm-hmm. by choosing and picking between two different photographers between each house, will that affect what your brand is? And what I mean by, let's say it a different way, is it noticeable the quality of pictures, or even if it is both really good quality, two different photographers taking two different houses, it should be part of a real estate agent's brand to stick with one photographer?
Yeah, some do, and sometimes I'm not available. Sometimes I get called because their photographer's not available. But you have to have some sort of consistency.
Yeah.
I know the photographers I would call if I was selling my house and I couldn't do it. They're out there, and the ones I wouldn't call are out there.
Yeah.
But that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a certain look, and and taking the real estate photos. Anybody in this room could do real estate photos. It's not rocket science. It's just technique. Everybody uses a very similar technique, but at the same time different. Everybody uses different editors, which are going to give you a different result. And so I rely on resources like I'm always constantly looking for retouchers and editors that are going to increase my worth. And that's why today I use the best editors I've ever used in the 13 years, going through dozens, and you just try them out and you get a feel and have them, because I love to take the photo, I love to meet the people, but I'm not doing the editing. It's just not the computer's not my thing. I rather rely on people. Photoshop, I need to know as a photographer what Photoshop can do. I don't have to know how to do it.
Yeah, sure.
That's my take.
Yeah.
All right. Other photographers say, "Oh no, I'm gonna control everything." Well, that's fine. It's just not how I've ever done it. I've been outsourcing since day one, but it's finding those people that can do it in the best possible thing. If I can't do something like a video, I'm gonna call Jonah. I'm gonna recommend Jonah.
Yeah.
Because that's his shtick. Mine is not video. I mean, I dabble here and there, but it's not something I would, in order to give my customer the best product, I'm going to say, no, don't ask me. Ask this person, and work in collaboration and that sort of thing. And but that's just how I roll.
Yeah. No, I think you do. And if anybody has any question about the quality of your the pictures you take of the indoor of the buildings, I can send them pictures of what you took of this building whenever we first opened.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. We still use those pictures today. I think you did a great job.
This is an awesome place. But again, any photographer can take good pictures of this place. It's really cool. Yeah. And that's not because you're sitting here, but it really is a cool building, and just the shape and design. My compliments to the architect and the designer and stuff like that.
And I'm like, I guess it might have worked well because I love like the straight line symmetrical stuff too. So if you like notice the doors are straight across the building from each other, all the lines, everything, the way that we designed it was very much like very very, very symmetrical, which I guess makes good pictures too, I guess.
Well, I think, and this is not a put down, but I mean, I get people don't want to pay the price.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. I think one of the best things I know in my dental laboratory business, any business I've ever been involved with, learn how to say no is very important. That's just me. Yeah. Whether it's good or bad, like I said, I don't necessarily run my operation like everyone else does. For one thing, I don't have packages per se. Typically, any photographer out there, real estate photographer, going back to the real estate realm of it, what's your packages? But I don't have a package because since day one, standing back and looking, I'm learning. The packages always threw me for a loop about why would you do that? So I'm walking in with a limited number of photos I can take on this $1 million house. So because agents will call you and say, I got an agent once, a very well-known agent called me and said, I just want a few pictures of this house. I get to, it's a function of country club, almost $2 million. I just want 10 or 12 pictures. Well, so I had to call him and say, do you not want me to shoot the Pecky Cypress office? Do you not want me to shoot in the wine room? Which the media room? Which rooms don't you want me to shoot?
Yeah.
Because so 2 houses, same subdivision, right next to one another, same size. They may flip it, to have a different floor plan. One's 2,000 square feet, the other one's 2,000 square feet. This one's owned by a designer. This one's owned by me. There's garage sale stuff on the wall, stuff. So this one's got a pool. This one doesn't. So you go in. I just walk in with the idea of I'm there to take the most compelling real estate images I can for the MLS to help sell the house. That's what I'm there for. As my great clients, I won't say we all know them, they'll open a door, sell it, Ken. So I'm going to walk in, I say, let's move this. What do you think about that? And it's a joint thing. So the first thing I do in real estate business, which I thought I saw early on, is first thing I do is the first 5 to 10 minutes, I walk around the house.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take a picture. We're going to walk, and we're going to walk with the agent. So what do you think? When we go to this room, what do you want to do? What do you want to move? Are we going to move that? So what if we put that chair over there? We took that pillow off. Let's straighten that. We discuss it. And when we start to shoot, it happens quickly.
Yeah.
But we're going to discuss it first and look at, let's move these flowers over just a little because when I take this shot, I can see all the way into that other room.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I rarely shoot a room square. I'm always shooting a little angle because I want to see where this room leads. So, and I think as a real estate agent, I'm getting what I'm referring to as a real estate agent. I understand what a buyer's looking for, and so I shoot the inside of a real estate house property how a buyer would want to see it.
Yeah,
that's mentally. That's what I'm thinking the whole time, and so I'm always a little bit angled because I want to see where this den least is connected to the kitchen, but also I might take 2 shots. And then one of my favorites things, same gentleman I was talking about that let me shoot his first thing. It's a beautiful house in, don't ask me, somewhere in Mandeville, Jenke or Covington, Jenke Road or something like that. And I did the shot. I was finishing up. I go out to the pool, take the pictures of the pool, and now I'm done. So I'm walking back in to say my goodbyes, but I walk in a different door. When I walk in that door, I turned around to close the door, and I went, will these doors open? So we opened the doors. That was the shot of the day.
Yeah.
Because I could see the pool, but I didn't see it walking that way, but I saw it walking this way.
Yeah.
And so packages-wise, if I had 15 shots or 20 shots, whatever it might be, what if I'm on number 20 already out by the pool? Now I got to go, which photo are we going to delete to reach 20, And so I just don't think that. So my customers give me carte blanche to shoot what I want. I don't overshoot so I can charge them more money. I just shoot what's needed to really sell the house.
Sure.
And sometimes you take pictures, and I'm more apt to shoot 30 pictures and charge them for 25 because 5 of those pictures, I might have made too many of the yard, or I might have shot one that looked like crap when it came out. It's not a good angle. So that's the way I do my real estate business.
I think it's great. I kind of feel that too. So let's get into why I have this this po' boy.
Oh, wait, headshots. Let's go back to headshots.
Let's go back
my
to
favorite
headshot.
thing to do.
Because I think similar to like real estate agents who might take pictures on their phone and then have high quality. It's so funny how often we get emails from people and in their signature block is a picture of them where they took a selfie of themselves on their phone.
Right. And normally that's in the bathroom because that's where the best lighting is. Right?
It's bright. Yeah.
It's
Or the car. There's some car ones.
Yeah. And it's incredible how, when people do that, they don't that they just totally miss the level of professionalism that they're missing out on and the credibility they lose by not having a really good headshot. And similarly, I think having consistency in which your company has headshots allows you to do all kind of marketing things with all of the people's headshots. Like you can have consistency across your brand. And I'm biased, but I think some photographers might get frustrated with this, but I think your headshots are absolutely incredible. And to know that you don't edit them, but they still come back so consistent, is pretty crazy. So, what are some of your techniques when it comes to headshots? What is this?
Well, also, the po' boy just connected to me. Like it just, I'm like,
You're wondering why I had that the whole
now.
time.
Now it makes sense because I remember when I took the headshots with you years ago. The moment you said that, I'm like, I remember now.
Yeah. So explain to people why.
Yeah, Lauren insisted I bring the po' boy.
The po' boy, of course. Just to tell us about the po' boy.
All right. So everything. So let's start over. So a headshot photos are about what's the final usage. What are we going to use this for? We're using a billboard. We use it for a business card. We can use it in an ad. Do you want to do lifestyle? On the computer, in the kitchen, that kind of thing. And so for headshots, most of the time, for me, I'm shooting chest up. So if I shoot someone, and I tell people this all the time, if I shoot someone full length, if it makes my website or makes my social media, I'm cropping it right here. Because I'm a face photographer. I mean, it's all about, I want people to see the face. If I shoot a full length picture, somebody puts it on their business card, their face is literally this big.
Yeah.
But if they got this size picture on their business card, it's just more impactful, and I think that's what brings people to me. Banks will call me to do that, and
hospitals.
Yeah, we just shot all the staff and the doctors at the newer hospital in Mandeville. I mean Covington Trace, which is awesome. Great client, great repeat clients, which is always the goal in any of our business, to get repeat clients. So I think that's a mark of success. The people that come back, that lets you know you did something good. All right, and so. Everything I do is a technique I borrow from somebody else, or I was taught by someone, in particular like Will Crockett or something like that. So when I'm taking somebody's picture, I don't care if they have the top of their head. I don't care what they're wearing. It's all about the face. If I'm shooting a realtor, I say, regardless of the 100 photos we just took, because I tend to overshoot. I shoot a lot. I have a heavy trigger finger. And but, people drool. People blink. So people look at their friends standing over here. So I just keep shooting through it. I don't stop. I'm not a 5-shot. Pick one of these. I'm blaring away, as y'all can contest. I tend to overshoot. Don't send me so many. I hear that a lot. Yeah. And so I try to get them relaxed first of all, have a rapport. I have them laugh at my shtick, and hopefully. Yeah. And but when people come to my studio or if I'm shooting them on location, like we'll bring all our stuff with us, and as I'm sure Jonah does. We have them in front of the background or in the hallway or something like that. But everything's kind of the same. I want them to be relaxed. I want to have a conversation. I want them to laugh at my jokes, and I want them to have fun. I don't want them to be stiff, anything. So, over the years, I've created shtick. Like my Shalmations will come in. Mm-hmm. We all know Shalmation. My Shalmations will come in typically, and I share this with every client, all of y'all. Yeah. Ken, what are you going to do about my necks? Plural. All right? And so everything I do is about the face and the jaw. I don't care about your hair. I don't care about the background. I don't care about the lights because they might be in the shot. I don't care about this plant. Everything's about this when I'm taking a headshot. Uh-huh. And so lighting is important, and how many lights we have, what angle of the light. A larger person would be better off with a little shadow over here because it tends to thin the face out. An older person would be better with more lights. As you get older, more lights. Mm-hmm. Because a wrinkle is a shadow of the skin fold. So if you put enough light, the wrinkles go away. It's beautiful, magic.
There you go.
Magical. But anyway, going back to the po' boy, everything I do when I take a headshot is about the jaw. So I want people to put what I call both ears towards Chalmette. So I want them to push their face out in the photo. It lengthens this and makes the jaw more pronounced. Uh-huh. If I meet somebody at a bar or a church, there's a shtick I always use, and everybody in this room has probably done it. I don't say, hi, I'm Ken. I engage. Hi, I'm Ken. I'm reaching out. I'm pushing my face towards them. I'm not going, hi, I'm Ken. Hi, I'm Ken. Yeah. I'm always trying to get them looking their best. And so I call it both ears towards Chalmette. So when I get ready to take the photo, I want a little, I don't want turtleneck. I just want a little pushing your forehead forward. Again, a technique I borrow from Peter Hurley, world famous headshot photographer, and I'm sure Jonah's heard of him. And it's just all about just separation a little bit. And so the po' boy came around as another Peter Hurley technique. In New York, they call it a sub, but nobody here would know what a sub is. Right? So you tell the boy. And so everybody that stood in front of a camera, y'all can attest, doctors, lawyers, insurance people, realtors, everybody that stood in front of my camera for a headshot has held the po' boy. Yeah. And so they can relate. So when we hold the po' boy, may I have the po' boy?
Sure, you can. Here.
Okay, so we have the po' boy. Here's our po' boy, all right? Because you're not holding it in the studio, but we have a po' boy. So what I want people to do, they're straight at me, and I shoot people straight forward. I shoot them looking left and shoot them right, because again, we don't know what the final image is. Mm-hmm. And if you're on this side of the billboard, you want to be looking into the billboard, or a flyer. You want to be looking straight, or you're going to be on this side of the flyer. All that has to do with the images that you pick for editing and stuff like that, retouching. Yeah. But the whole idea of the po' boy is we're going to hold the po' boy so I have people hold the po' boy like this, and then we make it a big po' boy. And so what happens when you make a big po' boy, what happens, your shoulders go back, your chest goes out. It's exactly what I want you to do. And then we're going to lean in like Jesus. And what that does, that pushes your ears towards Chalmette. Mm-hmm. And so it's all in one move, just like this. And so it's perfect for me. We're going to lower the po' boy a little bit because people like to do this. I don't want wings out. Mm-hmm. I just want a little bit of this. So this is just our little tool. We're holding a big po' boy. And the po' boy's not in the shot, but it just helps with the posture. Yeah. And then so we lean forward. And so what that does,
extends the jaw.
It extends the jaw, makes the jaw more profound. And that's our little technique. Yeah. And it gets people laughing. I might start having one of these.
That was like going to be good.
Just get a fresh one.
I'm going to get a big one. I'm going to get a much bigger one. Yeah. I have one made. Yeah. And so that's it. And I only use that when I'm shooting straight forward. And in my studio, when I see people come in, realtors, I tend to don't shoot brick walls, even if I'm out and about. I don't shoot people in front of a brick wall, maybe angled a little bit, like with some depth of field going to it. I don't shoot brick walls. I don't shoot in front of an oak tree. Mm-hmm. It's just not what I do. Mm-hmm. All right. People love it. If you want the oak tree in it, I'll put the oak tree in. Well, I have people that do that. Yeah. I have people put the oak tree in. I'll put the brick wall behind you. But I'm going to shoot it on a white background or a gray background. A lot of times for email signature, you want to use a white background. And so I generally provide white and gray and maybe a molded background in the background. But I just don't think if you have a flyer for a real estate agent, let's focus on real estate. You have a flyer, new listing, blah 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 blah, and your picture's over here in the corner. You don't want to be in front of a brick wall because there's a little brick wall with your face in front of it. Mm-hmm. But if it's white, it kind of blends in with it. That's my philosophy and thinking with my realtor hat on. Mm-hmm. All right, that's just me.
You think about that from any professional standpoint, it makes complete sense.
Well, it's a lot more controllable too in a studio.
Right, and so when people want a headshot, I prefer to have them. It's not always, but my recommendation is a studio because I can shoot it with my perfect lighting, get a clean, crisp, beautiful image. Then we'll put it in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Whatever you want.
But we're gonna fix it. I can't. I have people for that.
Let's give people let's just give everybody an understanding of how many headshots have you think you've taken in your career?
Oh God, 1,000.
How many po' boys?
yeah, 1,000. So and you talked about. We had this conversation on another podcast with a different person who has been in the real estate world, business world for 30 years, and he had a very similar sentiment to you. He was talking about how he always had mentors and he was spending time with other people, and he was humble enough to understand where he needed to go and get advice. Mm-hmm. And there's something at a point in time in his life where it transitioned where he had the knowledge and wisdom to be able to impart that on other people. And there's a lot of young people out in the world that get easy access to cameras and like you talked about, easy access to shoot with AI and all this type of stuff, but it still doesn't
translate.
It doesn't translate, but it also doesn't take the place of somebody who's got the experience and the knowledge and has shot so many headshots and done the research and has the knowledge and wisdom of what it takes to make a headshot look good. And it resonates, right? I mean, repeat clients. I'm sure there's not many people that don't call you back after you've done videos.
Correct. Yeah, I'm pretty blessed by that, and I know how blessed I am. But it's my goal. We always reach out. We always touch them. If I top of the mind awareness. If I think of them, I'm doing something that makes me think of them. I'm gonna text them, hey, just thinking about you. Just like my business is not unlike the Keller Williams. Well, it's God, family, business. Mm-hmm. And I build everything around that. And so touching people, staying in touch with people is crucial in your business, my business. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, I am my mother's kid. And so my mom would be on the phone all the time. So if I think of Jonah, I'm texting him, how you doing? What's happening? Hey, I saw that video you did. Just staying in contact. But I think when I see the referrals they get, I see the husbands that have shot the realtor. When I see the lawyer, when they send their wives in for something, because they have a business, all that translates into a little pat on the back to say, we were successful. We did something they needed. We accomplished our goal. And then that exponentially reaches out to other people, which brings in more business.
100%. It's a relationship.
Yeah. And so, I've gone into many brokerages and we'll shoot 25 people at a time, and so, but I treat it just like as if they're in my studio. They're all going to hold a po' boy and they're all going to laugh at my jokes or not. Yeah. And, we're going to do our best. Yeah. And so people ask, what's a great thing? I'm not a big fan of jewelry, big, giant jewelry. As my mom would say, gaudy, not big, because your eye is drawn to the brightest thing. So if you have a big, giant necklace around it, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's lit up because we're putting lots of light on it. And so the other reason I do this, getting back to my ears towards Chalmette, lengthen this, is because this is what I want people to focus on. I don't want them to focus here.
Sure.
We're trying to get them not to look at the neck. If you wear lots of jewelry, you're looking at the neck.
Sure.
Earrings, small but big, it's not necessarily the best thing. Sometimes it works out fine, and we'll shoot it. That's how they show up. We're fine to do it, but we're going to say, let's do something without the pearls, and that kind of thing. And so, and then, I've had one case where I said, here's my list of things, don't use this. And they came in and said, Ken, look, I didn't wear any jewelry. I said, great. But they had a black dress with a giant white priest collar on it. Well, it's the same thing. I'm just looking at this big ring. So I'm trying to present them in the best light, and so that's my advice. And so not everybody listens to it, but the ones that do,
take good headshots.
Yeah, I mean we try. I've been blessed. Like I've shot your headshots and most of the people in this building.
I was about to say repeat customers. You definitely are that for you.
But yeah, so the hospitals, is a repeat customer. So my typical client is attorneys and real estate agents, bankers. I have a couple of banks that call me. The magazine, like Homes and Land magazine, will call me out to go shoot somebody's thing. I've shot for W magazine. Our friend Jamie did her spread and that kind of thing. So yeah, it all adds up, and it's all makes for a successful day and profitable day and keeps you in business and keeps you going. Having those repeat clients is what, it's like hitting a golf ball and that one shot during the whole course of the thing is, I love this game. Not the rest. You forget about the other 150 shots, but that one shot brings you back. Well, makes you get up in the morning and say, yeah, I can do this, and then we get ready to shoot. We shoot anything, of course, not to diverge from our talk here, but we're getting ready to shoot food for a new restaurant opening up in Covington, so I can't wait to do that. And so it's we do just about anything. I like to say if somebody writes a check, we'll shoot it, but I have shot snowballs. It's kind of a dirty job, but it was fun. Yeah. And so when you go to the Shell station, sometimes you see a little ice chest with old-fashioned snowballs to go, and you look at the label and look at the box. I shot all that.
Nice. Very good.
At that time, I got paid by snowballs, but so we had snowballs for everybody. Yeah. But it was fun. Yeah.
So, and I'll say as we kind of wrap it up, I'll say that if anybody ever wants to get to know Ken better, you could probably go to Megumi on 21 or Megumi.
Can't get a concussion roll. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
And then when you're with me, we get the concussion roll.
Yeah. What's the concussion roll?
That's my roll. I had. I'm not a big wheeler like him, so the concussion roll is probably the best roll I've ever had there.
It's delicious.
And we're talking about Megumi on if anybody.
Yeah, Mandeville and Mandeville and Covington. And then so I went into the owner. I said, I love this roll, but I just can't afford to eat it every day because I was eating sushi every day. So what can we do? So it's a crunchy dynamite with all the toppings of the concussion.
Okay.
And those toppings and the black garlic oil and the fried leeks and the pickled wasabi, that all just makes it pop. And so I've turned a few people onto it, but I get texts from agents and friends and, look what I have. And they're all having, it's very popular.
Awesome.
So I haven't made the menu yet, but I have made the cash register. When it rings up the concussion.
Yeah. So if you go and ask for the concussion roll, they're going to ask you to clarify. Do you want the concussion
or con?
If I'm there, they know we're getting the concussion roll.
Yeah. And if I'm going with Jared, I just say, hey, my friend's coming. And they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll say like my claim to fame about Megumi is that I think we're the only two people that actually got a gift card to the restaurant from the owner of the restaurant because you and I go.
Yeah,
I tend
to bring a lot of people with
because there so much.
But so I love what I do, fellas, and we can shoot photos anywhere, anytime. I have memorable. I have clients that will be going to New Orleans or maybe to the West Bank when I have to go there, and they get tired of hearing me tell a story because when we pass the new prison in New Orleans, they say, "Hey, I've been on top. I heard that story already." And then when I'm shooting a client, they've heard all my stories. Oh, where you from? Oh, Metro. Oh, I grew up in the Ninth Ward. And it just goes on and on. They say, "Ken, I heard these stories before." I'm sorry, they haven't.
Yeah.
And so and you find people that know people so as again, I wake up every day trying to make a new friend. I think that's good for my business and good for my soul, and I'm blessed. For the support I get from my wife and my community. And, we're always trying to grow. But there are people that don't want to work with me, and I have people that I don't want to work with, and it's all fine. Mm-hmm. So saying no is a thing. People always looking for a more economical way of doing it, and I understand that. And so I have some of those people I can refer out to. But, you have to have certain goals, a certain level of commitment, and a certain level of quality you want to do, and that comes with a cost. And that's the way we approach it, But I'm blessed by taking human photos is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, Well, I think you do a great job, and I appreciate everything that you've done for all of us because our business is successful, and you're a part of that. Because every time somebody gets an email from us, it's gonna have a picture that Ken took. So, if somebody needs to get in touch with you or wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Well, you can call me, text me. That's the easiest way,
Yeah.
And or you can send me a
po' boy? A picture of a po' boy?
Yeah, and I'll know what it's all about, And but KenSchallenberg.com, and but text me at the 985-502-9233.
Cool.
That's the easiest way. I don't do online bookings because if I'm scheduling for something, somebody's in Franklinton and the next person wants to schedule in Kenner. Well, for real estate, that's kind of hard. So it's a lot easier. Your headshots, when can we do it? And I'll just pull over to the side. We make it happen right there. Or I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and then but I tried online booking on my website. It just ran me ragged, and so it's just not the best place for me. I know I should. It's be more professional, but I like to talk to people. So just text me. Let's talk about what you're doing. Where are we going? What are we doing? How long you think it's going to take? So I tell. So let's go back to headshots. One of the things I tell people when they call me, bring a change of clothes, bring a wardrobe change, because taking 2 shots, different color outfits, changes the world. I mean, it's just like they're surprised. So they'll bring something bold and wear the typical black. Black is great. I don't have to worry about the color. And the black is great on a white background. Oh, it's just awesome. And we can put a black background. It just really makes it dynamic. But you put that cobalt blue outfit on and just go, wow.
Yeah.
Suggestion, if I can have a suggestion to go back, I don't recommend people sleeveless. It's just not something I recommend because not many people look good with their arm against here. Another reason for the pull boy, because when you do the pull boy, it tends to make this a little thinner because it contours your arm a little bit, it brings your shoulder in just a little bit. So that's another reason for the pull boy. It's more complicated than it sounds, but it's just an easy technique. We can all do it together.
What is your penultimate camera of choice for like the daily driver camera for you?
A7R5, Sony. Megapixels. Bunch of megapixels. Or megapickles, that's what you want to call them. I've heard a friend say that. I thought it was hilarious. Megapixels, because it does everything. It could do video. I can't turn it on. It's just not my thing, But yeah, the Sony A7R5 will literally do anything I need it to do. It's never failed me. I've never had a Sony camera not work. Never had them go bad. Like you hear so many horror stories out there. But that, and I'm shooting the 24-70 if I'm shooting humans, and I'm shooting the 16-35 Mark II for real estate. And then we don't do a lot of macro photography anymore. And I have a 85 for if I want to do a real, lots of depth of field, lots of bokeh.
Yep.
I'm not really into. I don't chase the bokeh necessarily, but so having the right lenses and the right equipment for the right job. Of course, I've shot real estate with Fuji and headshots with Fuji, with Olympus, with Nikon, and with Canon, but I still always come back to the Sony.
Me too, brother. Me too.
You
Sony all day.
Yeah?
All day. I've shot with Sony. My first camera was a Canon T2i, which it's a piece of crap now compared to today's cameras. But it was NFL, it was in the line of NFL cameras that were approved to take photos for the NFL. So when I figured that out, I was like, this is the greatest camera ever. It's not. But then my first cinema camera was an FS7 Sony camera. That thing, I am still trying to buy it from my previous, at the church that I was working at, because we pushed so hard to buy it. And I am still a firm believer that camera is, it's just so good. So the FS7 is so good. But yeah, Sony all day.
Is it better than this camera that I have right here?
It's so much better.
And the Sony, I can tell you, taking a headshot, not in real estate because I'm kind of concentrated, but a headshot, I'm trying to converse with the client. I know I'm a goofball, but I'm trying to converse with the client. So I'm talking to him. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm pressing a button. I can just pick up the camera at the bag, put it on a tripod, start talking, press the button. It's going to find the eye. It's going to be in focus. Yeah. Like if I just shot an event Friday night, dark environment, like shooting in a cave. I have, 500 pictures or some of that. 499 are in focus. And not necessarily the best photo in the world, but even though I'm shooting the floor in my feet because I tripped or something, it's in focus.
Yeah.
And that's what the Sony brings to the game.
The AI autofocus on most Sony cameras is
right.
Absolutely.
And every time they come
insane.
up with a new camera, it does the same thing. And I look, I could shoot anything and be happy to shoot anything, but the Sony just
it's crazy.
Rocks it. Yeah, I'm flattered to be here, and hopefully I interjected something worthwhile for people.
No, I think you gave some great nuggets. I think one of the things, just to recap, like being disciplined enough to say no is huge. Always trying to make a friend and trying to be a better person, and then adding value. I mean, that's what we're all about in all of our businesses. So it is not a surprise that we align in those ways. So
yeah, and I'm flattered by that, and I'm always flattered when you call me to come shoot an event or a headshot and stuff like that. And I appreciate the continued business, and I wish you all well. And Jonah's doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Things are rocking here, and you have a good people surrounding you and a good team.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that. And it's pretty obvious. I've enjoyed seeing your growth. And I was a little nervous coming here, but y'all made it very comfortable.
Cool. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank y'all.
See you, bud.